Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I am Ali Raza Fahad. In this video, I will discuss Cavalier and metaphysical poets. For a period after the Renaissance, poetry divided into two trends. One was the Cavalier poets, the other was the metaphysical poets. The Cavalier poets defended the monarchy against the Puritans during the reign of Charles I. Cavalier, named because they were members of the cavalry. Cavalry was consisted of soldiers trained to fight on horseback. The foremost poets of the Jacobean era, Ben Jonson and John Donne, are regarded as the originators of two diverse poetic traditions, the Cavalier and the metaphysical. Johnson and Donne shared not only a common fund of literary resources but also a dryness of wit and precision of expression. Donne's poetry is distinctive for its passionate intellection, whereas Johnson's for its classicism and urbane guidance of passion. First, we will discuss the Cavalier poets. The Cavalier poets were the members of aristocracy supported King Charles I. It was an early 17th century movement centered on Robert Herrick, Thomas Crewe, John Suckling, Richard Lovelace, and Henry Vaughan. They were also known as royalists. The meaning of Cavalier is showing arrogant or offhand disregard, dismissive or carefree and nonchalant jaunty. This describes the attitude of Cavalier poets. A Cavalier was traditionally just a mounted soldier or knight, but because of the civil unrest in England at that time, Charles' soldiers were called the Cavaliers. They accepted the ideal of the Renaissance gentleman, a man who is at once lover, soldier, man of affairs, musician, and poet. But they reject the notion of Christian chivalry. Cavalier poets were considered heretics by the Puritans and other conservative Christians. To the Cavalier poet, enjoying life was far more important than following moral codes. Cavaliers wrote musical, vain, gay, trivial, often licentious, light-hearted verse that was popular with the royal court. They were also called pseudo-classicists. They were because they were highly influenced by the classical Greek and Roman style. They drew upon the knowledge of Horace, their poetry upon the knowledge of Horace, Cicero, and Ovid. The Cavalier poets' primary purpose was to entertain rather than to provoke their audience. They emulated Ben Jonson in rules and regulations. Therefore, they were also known as tribe or sons of Johnson. His work, a Cavalier poet's work, almost always espoused with the values of carpe diem, meaning seize the day or live the moment. The philosophy of carpe diem means to live for the moment. Focuses on the joys of earthly existence, this poetry, rather than on the means to salvation in the hereafter. It is an exhortation addressed to a young, attractive female to take advantage of her youth and beauty while she still has them. Cavalier poetry can be somewhat personal, often addressed to a particular person or a group of the poet's friends. These poets opposed metaphysical poetry such as that of John Donne. Cavalier poetry is straightforward, yet refined and stylized representation of these emotions. Cavalier poetry mirrored the attitudes of the courtiers. Subject matter of Cavalier poetry was usually revolved around sensual romantic love. Poetry for it is also called or it was also called poetry for births, marriages, great parties, etc. Cavalier poetry techniques include it employed a conversational style that followed natural speech patterns, use of regular rhythmic patterns, and They used elaborate conceits or complicated metaphors like the metaphysical poets. Ben Jonson. He is known as the father of Cavalier poetry. His followers created a group that is also called Tribe of Johnson, and his followers were also called Sons of Johnson. To Celia is his famous poem. Robert Herrick. Herrick was a close fellow of Johnson. He wrote of village customs and country life, one of the last poets who preserved few elements of Renaissance poetry. To the Virgins to Make Much of Time is one of his most famous poems. Richard Lovelace. Lovelace was a soldier and courtier. He was imprisoned twice and was an extreme supporter of the royalist cause. To Althea from prison and to Lucasta going to the wars are his famous poems. Sir John Suckling. He is renowned for careless gaiety and wit in his poetry. He was also the inventor of the card game cribbage. He is best known for his poem Ballad Upon a Wedding. Now I will discuss the metaphysical poets. Metaphysical is the reality beyond what is perceptible to the senses. It deals with the relationship between concrete forms and spiritual or emotional constructs. During the 17th century, the metaphysical poets such as John Donne, Andrew Marvell, John Cleveland, and Abraham Cole used a literary device known as the metaphysical conceit. A metaphysical conceit is a complex and often lofty literary device that makes a far stretched comparison between a spiritual aspect of a person and a physical thing in the world, and in doing so, they encourage the reader to see the subject in a whole new light. A conceit often relies on logic or manipulates it to prove a point. A metaphysical conceit is an extended metaphor which can sometimes last through the entire poem. A metaphysical conceit works to connect the reader's sensory perception to abstract ideas. For the metaphysical poets, the most common subject of these conceits were love, a lover, and God or faith. Neoclassicist Samuel Johnson called these poets unnatural and gave metaphysical poetry its name. He used it as a disparaging term. Thought them to be too proud of their wit. Not until 20th century was their unconventional style recognized as an important landmark in the history of English literature. Metaphysical poets valued the clarity, restraint, and shapeliness of the poets of Augustan Rome. They were influenced by Elizabethan poets but reacted against their rules and regulations. They emphasized analyzing emotion, not expressing it. They used darker subject matter, unlike Elizabethan poetry, explored meaning of life and the individual's relationship with God. Metaphysical poets were torn between the dictations of the church and their own intuitions. They wrote many sermons, prayers, and other religious works. Metaphysical poetry and its salient features. Metaphysical poetry appeals to the intellect above all, and it has far fetched ideas, heterogeneous ideas are combined in it. Exaltation of wit, which in the 17th century meant a nimbleness of thought, a sense of fancy, imagination of a fantastic or whimsical nature, and originality in figures of speech. Metaphysical poems are presented in the form of an argument. It often seems to be one side of a dialogue between the poet and his lover, or God, or himself. Metaphysical poetry. In metaphysical poetry, we find a use of ordinary speech mixed with puns. Language, in terms of language, we find plain style language, unlike Elizabethan high style or ornate use of language. Direct, not flowery language provoked the mind as well as the heart. Complicated terminology often drawn from law, sciences, travel, medicine, alchemy, and philosophy. We find paradoxes and conceits which are full of logic and reasoning. John Donne. He was born on 22nd January 1572 in London. Donne was a lawyer and a priest. The founder of the metaphysical school of poetry lived and wrote during the succeeding reigns of Elizabeth I, James I, and Charles I. He wrote love and divine poetry. His songs and sonnets are his finest works. Donne's style is characterized by abrupt openings and various paradoxes, ironies, and dislocations. He had made good use of direct speech to give a colloquial touch to his poems, used elaborate and unexpected metaphors called conceits. He tried to say what he hoped had never been said before, searched all fields of knowledge, science as well as nature, for comparisons and tried to say in style never used before. This made their poetry, or his poetry, or the poetry of the metaphysical poets, difficult to understand for common masses. Write poems which were less beautiful and less musical but full of intellectual images. He also used dramatic realism in his poetry. Donne died on 31st March 1631. George Herbert. He was also known, or he is also known as the saint of the metaphysical poetry or metaphysical school of poetry. He was a devout Anglican clergyman who believed that a poet should sing the glory of God. He describes his joys, fears, and doubts in a symbolic way. Many of his poems are overloaded with far fetched conceits, too obscure to be appreciated. Andrew Marvell. He was a Puritan also who served as Milton's assistant in the Commonwealth. Read in Nature's Mystic Book and wrote poems on nature. The haunting awareness of mortality, as shown in Donne's religious poems, also finds expression in marvels to his coy mistress. Had we but world enough and time, this coyness, lady, were no crime. Thank you very much.